Hello everybody, today we'll talk about surface microphone. Surface microphones are microphones designed for measuring true surface pressure. They resemble typical button batteries or button cells. On one side there is a diaphragm and on the other side it's flat for mounting purposes. So this is a schematic of a surface microphone. So they resemble typical button batteries, or they're cylindrical. On one side there is a diaphragm for measuring the sound pressure level, and on the other side it's flat so that you can mount this microphone. They're pretty low height and they're pretty tiny. I mean, this diameter can be maximum 1 centimeter. And they have a built-in BNC cable that goes to the data acquisition to send this captured sound pressure data to the data acquisition system. So let's look at a typical condenser microphone. This is like a half-inch condenser microphone. It typically looks like a cylinder, approximate 100 mm length. And again, you have the diaphragm and all these components, and you have this BNC cable that goes with data acquisition. In this case, you have to manually connect the BNC cable to the microphone as well as the data acquisition to capture this data. So what is the necessity for using a surface microphone? Why cannot we use a typical condenser microphone? Well, first of all, the typical condenser microphone is heavier compared to a surface microphone, so you need some mounting space, you need a fixture, you need a stand, and then you need to connect cables. So it's going to take some space to mount all those things together. So this is not feasible if you want to carry out measurements in very confined spaces. For example, if you want to measure noise on the exterior of a vehicle or the interior, I'm not talking just the exterior interior space, but rather the exterior surface or the interior surface. It's going to be very difficult because you cannot take a condenser microphone and you cannot imagine putting a stand on the window of the vehicle. So the only way out is to stick the microphone on the window, which will add mass to the window itself. So we need something less massive, and there's a need for this surface microphone. So what are the specifications of surface microphones? These microphones are designed to mount efficiently on surfaces. They have very low height, around 3 mm, and their diameter is approximately 1 centimeter or 10 mm. They're built rugged with water and dust resistant mesh in front of the diaphragm. This is assuming that you're actually going to carry out field measurements by driving the car on road. And these microphones are mounted with a rubber pad that surrounds the microphone circumferentially. We'll look at that schematic in a bit. And this microphone along with this pad can be mounted by applying an adhesive sticker. And the cables, as I mentioned earlier, are usually pre-connected to this microphone, and they're usually thin, thereby not adding additional weight. So this is a schematic of the surface microphone. So as you can see here, this is the diaphragm, and this is the front side of the microphone. On the back side is flat so that it can be mounted. And usually you have a rubber pad. This rubber pad holds this microphone, but then in order to hold this assembly together, you need an adhesive. So it's like a ring adhesive. You can just stick it and this will hold the entire assembly. And this is the pre-connected BNC cable that emerges from this microphone. They're usually thin, and it goes on the other side to the data acquisition system. So what are the applications of surface microphones? The first application is wind tunnel noise measurements. Noise measurements on surfaces of cars, such as exterior car surfaces or interior surfaces, and noise measurement in very confined spaces where typical measurement microphone cannot be mounted. All right, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day.